Hot.
Yeah.
Here for it.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, I have that. It fades out to these like soft pastel colors, and then you just add the dye in again, and so it's pretty fun.
Oh my god, my birthday's on Tuesday.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to be here this weekend? I'm having a birthday party at Woody's this Saturday.
I will be available, yeah, after I have a town hall, but I'll be free after that.
You should come. The theme is sangria, which means watermelon in Spanish. You know, because watermelon makes me think of summer, and I'm still trying to have a hot girl summer.
I love it.
It's 10 days. My birthday's in 10 days, so we can celebrate all of that together.
Yes!
My birthday's in a month, so.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Oh my god, what do you want for my birthday? I mean, what do you want for your birthday?
That's a surprise. So we're gonna do our game, the race deck that I talked about earlier. So we have selected race deck 2, which is Know Yourself. And Ace is gonna select a card out of this amazing deck.
This one.
And let's see.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, oh, this crazy how this it's relevant to the work that you do with Black Pockets.
Let's go.
Yeah. So the question is your practice designed to connect clients to resources they may need?
In a way, yes. And the resources actually are ones that can be self-applied, because we're going to, in regards to health, outside of just wealth, because we don't correlate the two as far as health being wealth. But resources like herbs and just different produce, as well as different recipes, and even different methods of budgeting, and what wealth even looks like for us, because it's going to be different when it comes to Black specifically. So yes, we do provide resources, but these are ones that you actually can apply yourself and be a resource for other people around you too.
That's really cool. I think it's important. One that you're not setting people up for success, but you're helping them along the way. So they're not just here's a pamphlet, put it on your own. It's a little bit more in depth in that process.
Absolutely. You can't really tell some, so everyone's purpose is their own. So I don't want to be one of those people to help you find your purpose, because I can't do that for you, but I can leave your best self, so that when it approaches you, or basically introduces itself to you, you're able to actually face it without having a certain effect.
There's an element hard to hear.
What if we move her here?
Okay. Is that better? All right. CiCi, can you talk for a second?
I can.
Is that better? I hope it's better.
We had an audio echo. We think it's like taking a feed from
the iPad to the microphone.
So we just moved your location a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a little closer.
Yeah.
You're basically a couch level for us right now, but you can't see that. I feel like those lights like shining in your eye though. Like, so can we do introductions?
Yeah, I was gonna do let's do introductions. I'm Wes with KC Care.
I'm Ace from Woody's KC.
And you are
CiCi, you're up. Introduce yourself.
My name is CiCi Glasgow. I'm with Black Pockets LLC, CEO and co-founder. How is everyone?
Yay! So CiCi, can you tell us briefly, what is Black Pockets LLC and where did that come from? Where did you get the inspiration to create this program or business?
So Black Pockets LLC is a cultural and financial literacy organization specific to queer, trans, Black, and Indigenous people of color. And we wanted to basically focus on Black healing and joy specifically. When it comes to doing the work, community work, there's a lot of different conversations around what causes trauma and what causes harm and what causes and what needs for healing are. And we don't actually show or tell how that comes to be. We don't actually get to the point of actually doing that healing. We don't do the self-care parts as much as we talk about the self-care and how much is needed. And so we wanted to create something that would allow us to work collectively also with our community, which is not something we've been able to do when it comes to focusing on Black, queer, and trans individuals. So that's exciting.
That's incredible. Less.
What?
That's an
How long have you guys been
Operating.
operating? Thank you. I was like, in business? Yeah.
February, actually, February of 2020. It was
That's
a
awesome.
beautiful Valentine's Day gift from my honey specifically, because it's always something I've talked about. I talked about for a long time, like for years. We've been friends for years. And so it wasn't something I was actually just doing. And so they kind of gave me that push by gifting it to me as far as the LLC being created and of course introduced to the state of Missouri, most importantly. So that was when we started operation, and we've been going ever since.
So how has operating? You definitely started like off and running, and then you had the hurdle of COVID-19 that sort of like impacted you guys. How is that? How have you been able to work around that or with it?
It actually created evolution for Black Pockets in a way, because it was something that literally that happened, and then the COVID happens. Is like, wow, well, we don't really have a storefront yet, so it kind of worked out in that way as far as everyone being at home. And we also provide the information and those resources, specifically being a resource for people, just by pumping out a lot of information online, and through a podcast that we have. We also have a Black Pockets podcast. Check that out. It's on almost all podcast networks, Spotify. If you have Apple, it's on the Apple playlist called Apple Cast or something like that. Google Cast. All of it is available there for you all to listen to. And basically, we're just talking about what's happening with COVID specifically. But we were able to create Freedom Foundation because we started going to a lot of protests and meeting a lot of different Black organizers and Black-owned businesses, and realized that we actually move better as a collective, as a whole, especially something that is being created for us by us specifically. So it actually opened an opportunity for us to create that foundation, which allows us to then go out and educate other people who want to do the work.
That's incredible. So, what would somebody expect? Like, if they were needing your services, like, how would they go about accessing them? Like, how would they be able to do that?
So we actually have access on Instagram. We have our website as well. You can directly contact us at www.blackpocketsllc.com. We are on Facebook as well. Sometimes it's easier for people to hit us up on either our DMs on Instagram. So you can hit us up at Black Pockets LLC there, as well as facebook.com/Black Pockets LLC on Facebook. So we are available on all those channels. And then we do have our email address, blackpocketsllc@gmail.com. Us up. And if you need anything from CMOS, we provide literally holistic medicine as far as the benefits of both CMOS itself and bladder wax together. We also do aloe vera face mask and moisturizers as well. Yeah. And then we even just have right now on like just specifically just informational sides outside of the podcast. We have like a COVID resources for people who may not have access to a doctor or even healthcare, because we know that's also a huge disparity as well. And they can find all that information or access to order any of that information on all the channels I just.
Nice. So you guys really do. I would say like a whole person approach. Like you offer like self-care items. You offer assistance with tackling race issues and having those hard conversations. I think that's really incredible. What have you learned in this process? I mean, you've only had since February, so now we're in August. Like, what have you learned throughout setting this up and engaging with clients, sort of like having an impact?
Well, we do it all through basically finance, food, frequency, and freedom. We use those F's specifically. So depending on what someone is needing at the time, like they just need better food choices, we're going to talk to them about that. If we're talking about our finances and like how do I create more income for myself, we can discuss multiple streams of income and what that looks like. Basically, we realize that all of those things literally feed into the other, your mind, body, and soul connection itself. When it comes to just better tips on saging or smearing your house or saging, like you know, we were just having that discussion before we started talking. And that is, it's helpful for whatever your need may be. And then sometimes you may just want to go out and protest some really horrible things going on in the community. We're there for that too. I mean, really just, we learn that we move better when we feel better, also on a spiritual level outside of how you feel physically, but also when your pockets are good, when you actually have a savings account, you feel better about making decisions
and you make better decisions all around because of those things. So literally someone may come to us with an issue on one end and we end up providing them with information on another end because we realize that they're just not making healthy choices at all because they just feel like a failure because of their money problems. And so it's literally just teaching me that anybody can be this type of resource for the people around them. They just have to have the information first. And we've kind of siloed ourselves, assuming that we had to work individually when we've always worked collectively, and that's what's helped us flourish as a people in general. And so it's taught me to make better relationships with everyone around me, regardless of what reservations I may have, simply because they may not be making the best choices because of X, Y, or Z, because of one of these four things that we discuss. And we send.
I think it speaks to community and how important it is to build and support the community around you.
I think even at the beginning when you were speaking and you said, health and wealth and how that's they're completely separate and that your wealth isn't dependent on your health and your health isn't dependent on your wealth. They're two separate entities and you need to cultivate both of them. I think that's very important.
Exactly that.
It's a great approach.
Separate it and leave it up to this person like, oh no, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to worry about that. You don't have to be a doctor to make good decisions about your health or your wealth. You just have to decide to make better decisions for them. And then, of course, go out and find the resources and information for that. And we just want to be a hub for that pretty much because we know what it looks like when people don't have access to that.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that, with anything too, like, there's such a balance to everything, and it's such a little like light tipping scale on either end. And I think it's important to have organizations like yours and even community to surround you and support you and uplift you in times where you're not as healthy physically, or you're not as wealthy, or you're not as healthy mentally, or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
CiCi, I just had a pop-up on our screen that says your time is almost up. So like I said, my Zoom thing is short in time, so we may lose you in the next 5 minutes. So I just want to give a heads up to the community and people watching. Like, we're not cutting for feed, so we just don't pay for Zoom. So
Exactly.
I know. So in the last, in this before you may cut off, I want to thank you for being here and talking about Black Pockets, and definitely once you're back in the city and are able to be here like physically with us, we definitely want to extend that invite as well.
Yes.
But I want to touch on what's happening in our culture and our society, and especially in America right now. So with our new VP pick that we got announced yesterday. So what's your take on that? What are your thoughts about it?
Are you talking about Kamala Harris?
Yeah,
getting the vice president now for Biden.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone knew we was going to have at least it was definitely going to be someone who was a woman and had a woman of color specifically. I wasn't surprised about that. I actually am. That is something to celebrate. I think everyone should at least celebrate that, especially for it to be the first time. I thought that was insane for it to be the first time, but I had to look it up. It really is. That's a big deal. But at the same time, it is coming during a time where we feel like, at least I know as a community, we feel like a lot of things that are, too little too late because of what's been going on in the community and police brutality, things of that nature. And I think we all have reservations just because of previous actions and things going on, but we should still at least celebrate that. And I think we've spent so much time dividing ourselves that we shouldn't continue doing that, especially about such a huge accomplishment for at least our legislative side of things.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, I think it's important to be reflective in the moment, to be like, it's incredible. It's it shouldn't have taken this long to get to where we are, but at least we're taking those steps. And then I think it gives you a sense of a state of mind to be, I'm happy about this, I'm excited, but there's still a check. You still got to do the job. You still got to be supportive of America. You need to unite everybody and not separate and divide us like we have been over the last 4 years. And so I think that's where that reality check comes in, over knowing your candidate's history, knowing their political stances and what they've done in the past, but giving them grace to grow and change with time, just like we have grown and changed, with the times. And it's I think so. What I read yesterday, where Kamala is a check for Biden, like it's a chance for someone to keep him, in check, to like make him a better person, to be like, that's great that you want to do this, but what about the other individuals? What about these minorities that you're not addressing? What about the concerns of these individuals that haven't been heard or met? So I think that's really an interesting way to engage with your political candidate to run with you, is like somebody that can hold you accountable, that can sort of be that person that's like, I don't like what you're saying. And I think she does that. She did that in the debates, and she's done that throughout her career. If she doesn't like something, she'll tell you. I think that's some honesty and integrity that we haven't seen in a while, especially the last 4 years in our political realm.
Especially when it comes to like you said, people can change. I know I remember at one time when I was in school, specifically like high school and stuff, George W. Bush was the worst man on the planet of Earth. Period. It was on planet Earth. He was a horrible person, but literally, I think everyone has seen that even if he's just showing up, he's making himself available for things that he would have never done so during his presidency. So people can change their political views. They can change certain things about them. So I think we should just give the opportunity, because we already know what 4 years of the other option is. So that's really what we should kind of steer ourselves away from mostly.
Yeah, I agree completely. Ace, what were your thoughts on Kamala being announced?
I think I'm just gonna go back to what CiCi said earlier. You know, it's just about giving people grace and letting people be human, and like not putting pressure on people that are on a pedestal in a like political statement, and realize that people are human, and regardless of like what my beef may be with someone, I don't know their journey. I don't know where they're going through. You know, we're always at different levels, but you know, I think the important thing is to, you know, open your eyes and open your heart and kind of extend a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we extend it to ourselves and as much as we expect it to be extended to us, we should also do that. And also, you know, like we've already seen what the past 4 years have done.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So,
I won't be filling out a circle for anybody underneath Donald Trump or anything of that nature. I won't be filling out a circle for that. So I mean, that's just bottom line. Personally, about either one, I'm not doing that. So, and I don't think that's what we should leave it to. That's it.
So, are you registered to vote? Are you ready to go?
Oh yeah, I'm always registered to vote. Yes.
Yeah. Exercise that right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Everyone knows I have reservations about voting. I know I've seen it work on especially local and state levels for sure. So I still make sure to make my vote counted and all that good stuff. It's just I wish that, you know, as we all do, that we can at least get into a system that actually plans on doing what they say they're gonna do. But that's for us. That's like obviously for us to do, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah, I think that makes it. What is it? Setting up term limits where people don't spend 20 years in office. Like, come on, you know. Give some younger individuals some fresh meat, some new blood into that mix to have some new ideas and some real change. Yeah.
That actually tells me that you actually want change, because there's nothing changing about that. So I mean,
yeah. Ace, do we have anybody who has any questions? Ace is following along on one of the feeds, so we're just seeing if it is.
No, they were just messaging about sound, and I think that we kind of got it fixed. Also, the Zoom time says it's been upgraded, so maybe we won't cut out.
Ooh, that is exciting.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how our time gets extended.
Yeah,
because I mean, this is not on topic, it's off topic, but on topic. I want to talk about WAP. So, Ace has not seen this video. Have you heard the song? Have you heard the song?
What is WAP?
It means worship and prayer.
I don't feel like that's what it means. I don't feel like that's what it means.
Oh,
is
that
what it means?
Oh, no.
CiCi, what does it mean?
It refers to what? We can cuss, right? Because this is Woody.
Yeah, you can do whatever, yeah.
I can always cuss at Woody's. It's referring to wet ass pussy, which, you know, a lot of us are familiar with. Some of us are not. But that's what it's talking about. Basically, it's a women empowerment song. That's just what it is. And that's the problem, is some people just are not comfortable. I remember, let me just put it this way. People aren't comfortable with the conversation topic. But I remember there was a time that I felt uncomfortable about even giving women physical compliments and saying things about what I wanted to physically do to women, because I was still in the closet. So I feel like a lot of people are just uncomfortable with having that conversation because of their own personal insecurities, if that makes sense. Not saying everyone who feels some kind of way are
internalizing homophobia or homosexuality. I'm just saying there's some insecurities that's going on with, especially with a lot of our women identified folks, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, I agree. I thought like this video, you know, is a female version of, is it like so like slobber on my knob or some, I can't remember the.
Very much. I mean,
There's like a male version of this song that covers that, and it's like that song's totally okay. Nobody cares about that. It's fine. This guy talked about, you know, girls giving him a blowjob. I was gonna say a BJ, yeah. But you know, when it's women talking about their bodies and what they love about their bodies and showing that, it's a completely different thing. And it's like, how dare you? How, we can't talk about this. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's unbecoming of a woman.
That part. And like, we've literally been having a whole feminist movement for years now. And then as soon as women come out and want to talk about they wet ass pussy, it's a problem. I'm just saying, there's some dry ass pussy out here. That's the only excuse I have for it. I can't call it. It has to be it. I was underwhelmed by the video. I was underwhelmed by the song because of the way it was presented, and it was done like the day before, but not because of what was being said, like not because of their particular like approach about it. Like I was just underwhelmed because for them two, they finally got to collab. We was waiting on this collaboration for a while. I'm thinking like in the beat, which is not their fault. They can't control that part. Like I was just like, I'm waiting on the. It was still empowering. The video was still great. I watched it a couple times. You know.
Yeah, I was waiting on that beat to drop. You know, where like it turns into a dance part or there's a rap section or something. But I was like, is somebody gonna remix this? Because I really want to hear that.
Almost, I feel like it was rushed, and I didn't get to like do they final mastering or something. Like it wasn't horrible. It was just like something was missing. But the most of the conversation that's happening right now is in relation to the fact that they were just talking about, you know, wet ass pussy. And I'm like, come on now, that's really what we mad about, really?
Right? Yeah. You weren't mad when Trump said grab him by the pussy. So why are you mad about women who are talking about their body? Yeah.
It's theirs. That's all I'm saying. People always talking about like, can we just discuss how obsessed we are with other people's genitals? Yeah. Like,
I for one am very obsessed with other people's genitals.
I am. I'm definitely a guy.
I love genitals. Wait, what?
Like crazy. Like, why are we so concerned either about what people are doing in their bedroom or what their genitals look like that? And but the gay people and queer people are perverse, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm also just very curious. I also like, I'm a person that wants to see everyone naked, not just for like sexual things, but just because curiosity. I want to see what everyone looks like naked. That's just who I
am. I'm a nudist, so it's easier for me. Yeah.
See, I'm working. I have my own reservations about my own body, so I don't have that kind of confidence just yet to come out and do those things. But I have nothing against anyone who chooses to do that. I feel like that's beautiful. I think having that kind of freedom about yourself and other people is wonderful.
I agree. I want to touch on, you were talking about dry ass pussy. And how that made me think of it. Like, it's really important, and this is, you know, something that we talk about in work, you know, in my job, is like lube. And so for a dry ass pussy, you want to make sure you have a water-based lube so that one, you don't have any tears. One, it increases your sexual experience, so it's better. It's not as traumatic. It doesn't feel painful. And then three, you don't want to use a silicone-based lube because silicone stays wetter longer, but it also impacts a woman's pH, and so that can lead to infections, and that's definitely not a road that you want to go down. So making sure that you have a water-based lube for your dry-ass pussy is a really good thing.
That part, yes, because you want that for a whole different reason if you don't get that together. So yeah,
right.
I feel like dry ass pussy can just also be like a state of mind or like a mood or like this bitch being a dry ass pussy. What?
Let's talk about that too. There's a lot of men upset about that song because they've encountered some dry ass pussy, but they ain't asking themselves why the pussy was so dry.
That's real. That's real.
How that's her fault or their fault if that's what's going on. But I think you should be asking yourself about that. Right?
That's real.
I know some women and some other women, ladies who love ladies, are specifically can speak on it. We wasn't wet when I had it, so you're gonna have to ask about that. Women say, well, dry.
Yeah,
Excuse me. It wasn't dry when I was with it. So, that's what they mad about. They don't like when women talk about other pussies for that reason, too.
That's true.
Oh man.
Little
Yeah.
mouth.
Ace, are you gonna watch the video now, or
I mean, I'm always really late to the party when it comes to stuff like that. I think a lot of it too is just because I work in a very queer environment where we're always playing music of every genre, of every type, and so like when I'm not here, I kind of just like want to be quiet and not listen to music. And sometimes it's weird when people get in my car and they're like, "So you're not gonna turn the radio on?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was off."
yeah, yeah? I think I would say like I was a DJ for about a decade, and so in my car, I like never listened to music. I listened to talk radio or podcasts,
Same.
and I'm like, I listen to music for my job, so it's always looking like when I wasn't in the car or something like that, it'd be what are the new songs, what's available, what's been remixed, what can I download, and stuff like that. Or what event is coming up, and what music do I need for it. So as far as like leisurely, listening to music was not a thing that I did. I'm like, that's work. Like, I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
I think you
But I
should
heard
watch
Kylie,
your birthday party. Just saying, on Saturday, we should just pop that up on the TV and let that.
I'm down. Also, I heard Kylie Jenner was in this video.
Yeah, I really thought she was gonna bust out with some crack, but no, she just has some flirty looks.
Weird cameo.
Yeah, that's it.
People mad about that too. Like, why is she in this video? I don't people keeping up to social media. There's a lot of her exes that say she also has some wet ass pussy. So I think that's fine.
Well, also, I mean, she's super relevant. She's like a billionaire, and
She's a Kardashian,
she's
right?
she's a Jenner.
Technically a boss bitch when it comes down to like on paper. That's
Yep.
true. People don't like that either.
She got body, yada, yada. She probably got a wet ass pussy, and she got money in the bank. And
Yeah, and she got to be in a music video, so.
I used to watch TV with Kardashians. I tell people all the time, like, I don't think I understand why people are crazy, but I'm not super like stand out about it. But I get why people are like, I watched that Ascension as well. Like that's real. Like that's like Christian did that. She did that.
I watched Life of Kylie. I'm down.
I have not watched it.
I watch all that, but I don't watch his music videos. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I've never seen either of those. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for reality TV.
They have kids that can like relate to just several different facets of popularity, like Kris Jenner did. I don't think I understand what Kris Jenner did. Wait about 10 more years for these little ones to be bigger, and then y'all gonna really see what they did with that. Like that's they did that.
Mm-hmm. So, what would someone need to do to reach out to Black Pockets? I'm going to bring us back. Like, what would someone need to do to access your services? Like, if they were in need, how would they do that?
Just slide into your DM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can hit us up on any of our channels. So it'd be blackpocketsllc@gmail.com. That's one way. So usually people just hit us up straight up on our social media pages. We love that too, because of course we have our phones and our laptops are always near us. So that's the easy way as well. But then our website has a contact us section at www.blackpocketsllc.com. So you can also hit us up there. Or if you happen to be friends with us on our personal pages, we don't mind you messaging us directly. We literally are used to being like, if we could just be like switchboards, we are human switchboards at this point. But that's what we love though. That's the point of it. So we don't mind.
And now, are there fees associated with your services, or is this a free service, or is there
like
how does that work?
Yeah, like we have our Cash App set up right now, so it's going to be # Black Pockets LLC. Actually, we'll have a direct Venmo, PayPal, and you can literally use a add to cart option on that website, and that'll be live as of September. So that'll be even easier to do in September itself. But right now, Cash App is the easiest way to get to us, and that is the $ Black Pockets LLC. And each product is priced differently, so you would just want to contact us for what you're looking for. So if it's like the face wash or like the combination of the face wash and the moisturizer, right now that's set at $25. But people literally contact us sometimes just for that our aloe vera by itself. Sometimes people just want sea moss, and those are jars of $12 for the sea moss. And then we even have teas, like a pineapple skin tea, which has all kinds of wonderful goodies in it, like ginger. And we've added chamomile to it as well. That's great for basically inflammation. It's anti-inflammatory. That Moon's been using specifically Moon Brown, because everyone
who may not know, she's recovering from surgery, and so they need that right now specifically, and we've sold that too, and that's $12 as well. So literally just contact us and we'll be able to price out whatever it is that you're looking for. When it comes to the information, as far as like the COVID list, or even like how to make multiple streams of income, I'm providing that information for free at the moment, just because right now everyone literally has their own financial situation going on with COVID happening in our pandemic. So we don't feel like it's literally like the opposite of our mission statement for us to charge people during such a moment like right now for things like that. So that's currently free, but I got an ebook coming out, so y'all look out for that. And I'll have more on that ebook on our information. Oh yes, I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been writing a lot, reading a lot, researching a lot, rediscovering myself and like what I'm interested in. And that's one thing that I'm actually wanting to put together, just because I feel like people sitting at home are reading more, returning off of all of our electronics a lot more often. We're sitting at home, so why not give someone an actual book that can help them in several ways, and then they can go out and share that with other people too. Again, that's about collectively doing the work. That's what we need to be doing. It's the only way it works.
What's the title of your book?
It is going to be what wealth looks like to us. So basically, it's like a for us by us for wealth, but it's going to surprise people because a lot of people think we're going to talk so much about money, but when it comes to being queer, trans, and or black, you literally have your own way of wealth and your own way of making life valuable for you that has absolutely nothing to do with monetary value. And we're seeing that, right?
For sure.
How did you find inspiration from like friends or families to sort of like guide you as you were writing your book, or is it more like self-driven?
Still doing it too. I actually am. I literally go and every time I like at a family event, like just this past, like just standing around talking after my aunt's service, people were just literally standing there talking about just different things they were doing to make money. Like, oh yeah, we were here selling these things out the back of my truck, and it sounds insane to other people, but if you literally collect things just for them to sit there, why not? Why not capitalize on things that are just sitting at your house? And like they were literally talking about just having old vinyl records that they sold out the back of their truck and were able to make money that they could use to then go and pay for their family with. Like that's what wealth looks like to us. We can't necessarily, walk into a bank and get a loan because we're going to get discriminated against just based on what we look like. But we can go down to like our favorite place to hang out and possibly provide something that someone else can either exchange to us or give us money for. And then there we go. Wealth, it just looks different for us. Even for like exchanging makeup, even when it comes to like being queer, right? People like putting makeup on their faces, but maybe you can't afford this makeup, but you do have this shirt your friend wants, and then you trade, and then y'all go out and y'all cute together, and you go home and nobody knows that all that happened beforehand. You may have had to go spend money at a store, but instead you just traded your friend for it, and then you're good. That's
cool. Yeah, it's like building a community too, supporting it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, maybe go ask my friend for this instead of me going and buying it from someone's store, and then they're gonna look at me funny or follow me around the store because they think I'm stealing the whole time. Why am I giving them money for it?
Yeah. That shop local. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just saying, we all sitting at home, right? We're all sitting at home right now. We're all just stuck in an idle state, and we see that all the things we collected don't make us happy at all. We're actually more unhappy because we're sitting around in it. Why not actually do something about that and make your actual environment better, like literally recycle it back into the community that you live in, opposed to just sitting there with it.
Yeah. There's I did this event last night for Hillcrest Hope. It's a nonprofit that helps individuals reach financial freedom and attain housing. And each they when you graduate out of the program, it's because you've reached financial freedom, you've paid off your debt, you've got some money put back as a savings account, you've secured a job, and you're moving into an apartment or a house or something along those lines. And each graduate got up and like spoke for a little bit about what their journey was like and how they've gotten to where they are now. And one of the ladies talked about hustling, and so she said that she was doing just that right there over the past like few months. She would be selling stuff out of her car. She would like post it on Facebook that she was going to be set up at this parking lot with this stuff, and like she was making side money to buy groceries, and put gas in her car because she wasn't able to work. She was laid off, and so I thought that was such a, like, when you were talking about like finding ways to make money and do a hustle on the side so that you can sort of like clear out your house, and give back to your community, but still provide for yourself and your family. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. We have to always make a way our own way. Like it's always been that way. Just because as marginalized individuals, you don't get access to things. So it makes sense that why a lot of inventors are black. It makes sense why a lot of our like political leaders that we look up and are actually applying for office are either queer or people of color or both. Because we've always had to make our own way. So why not do that and actually educate other people on how to do that? Because before we had money and dollars and cents, we all just walked around trading things in markets with one another. That's what worked. That's what got us here. So we can still do that, but we need to do it in a way that we know now is healthy for everyone. And I think we're starting to get that now.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what you're doing with Black Pockets is, in that vein, like it's down that road. It's helping individuals reach their financial freedom. It's supporting you and the work that you're doing. It's a way to give back to your community. It's a way to help others. I think that's really great. And thank you for doing that and taking that initiative and just running with it.
I just been thinking about this for like the whole time. I haven't really been saying anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it that way. That like our country is built on so much capitalism and so much wealth, like built on like monetary stands or like things and stuff like that. When in reality, like the real, I think, wealth is being able to like provide a good or a service or some kind of trade or do something that you physically can make with your hands or be able to barter. Like that's the real wealth. Having skills, having ingenuity, having being able to invent something or create something, not just accumulate massive hordes of stuff that you just sit around in a pandemic and look at,
Yeah.
and like equate like your value to some trinket as opposed to something that you actually,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like it's just very, it's wild, and I really love what you're doing. I really love like this information that I'm just now realizing and getting today, and like how I feel like I've a little bit too been tapped into consumerism and capitalism, and yeah, that's
It's all marketing. We're all been drawn into it.
Yeah, I must say it's been taught that way. It's been purposely so we can continue feeding the green monster and 1% of the population who benefits from it. It's not like we literally been taught that we aren't anything if we don't have a certain education or a certain title. When everyone literally has been creating their own businesses and their own things, like this right here, what you all have created. Just the fact that we were able to come in on the nonprofit industrial complex side of things, which you all have just recently learned about, and help us to create a space for other people and provide free lunches. Just you were able to do that. This is what we do. We literally find that we see there's a need for something and we then go out and create things to then fill that need. And that's what we've learned to do even more, that we've been in our own space, our own isness right now. And then Black Pockets has literally just been flourishing based on that particular demographic. Like we know what's best for ourselves. And now we're realizing that we've been filling our lives up with things that can make us feel shitty. And we didn't know it until we had to sit there in it. And so that's what we're coming out of now. We're actually going to start creating our own things, and it's going to keep happening more and more and more that we collectively do it, because that's the only way this works, is if we all decide together to say fuck the systems that have made us feel like shit our entire lives, our families, families. Like we don't have relatives that literally have been killed and killed themselves for this dollar, for these cents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're over it, and we're gonna start creating things now that benefit us, because that's what makes us feel good. And we're learning that as we do this right now, as we do this community stuff together as we speak.
You're building a wealth of community. You're investing, in yourself. You're investing in those around you, and you're lifting them up at the same time. It's a powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
That we're all doing. Yeah.
It feels good though. And this is why, this is how we've been able to build these better relationships with each other. And it feels good. It feels a lot better than it did a year ago, even though it's been a shitty year. It still feels better than that shit a year ago.
I think that's powerful right there, in that, you're recognizing how tumultuous, that's the word, right? The year has been, and the stress and everything has been on you, but you're still like, I started my business, my work is going well, my personal life is doing well. Like you're still finding, that your rainbow after the storm or your silver lining, of all of this, that there's still some good that's out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's gonna keep happening just because we're all waking up one by one. So it's just gonna keep happening. Keep supporting each other, and the people who can't are being, you can see them like they're beacons now. They're literally like flashing red lights to us. We can see shitty people coming now, and we're calling that out. We all feel empowered to do so as well because we know what's right and what's wrong. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. We do feel empowered. I personally feel more empowered to engage with someone if I feel like they're being racist or homophobic or falling into one of the isms or stigma or bias inducing. I feel empowered to check them. And I don't feel like I would have been so adamant to do that, especially in a real world scene. Like online, yeah, you can hide behind the keyboard and type it out, and we've all been there and done that. But to actually have that conversation face to face with somebody.
Oh my God, it's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love confrontation.
I don't live for the confrontation. I live for the opportunity to educate and hopefully.
That's the problem. People just get used to saying shit on the keyboard and get stuck and fucking out for it.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, sis, what's good? Let's talk face to face. What did you say? Hold on, let me pull up the receipts.
Right. What happened? You didn't think I saw that. You didn't think I was gonna find out about that, and now
at 3:44 p.m. on Tuesday, you said online.
Okay.
Right?
Period.
I got you.
How you doing? And who gonna check me, boo? Because I'm waiting on it.
We're here. Say it again. What? You still feel that way? What's going on?
Yeah, I love that.
Period.
I'm a first bitch to be like, oh, hold on. I'll be right back. I just saw someone walk in that I gotta say some shit to.
I know, I love it too. I have been loving all of that too, Ace, by the way. I love.
I'd be like, you want to watch? Pull up a chair because it's about to be a show. You want me to wait? You want to go to the bar and grab a drink? I'll wait.
We need. It's been beautiful to watch. Yes.
Yeah, I love confrontation. I think we need more of that. I think people have gotten so used to saying stuff and backtracking or hiding behind keyboards or doing the, like, she said, he said, all this like telephone bullshit. And I'm just like, no. It's like, what, like, did you or did you not?
Now, yeah. We have to remember some people are feeling a little too bold out here too. So yeah, that's where the confrontation is good at, because you just have to let them know, I understand that because we are in these facets where we're sitting behind our computers and we can't necessarily see people in person, that you feel empowered and you're almost entitled to your bullshit. But this is where you're wrong, boo. This is where I come in and have to tell you and check your ass about your bullshit. And I will do that. Y'all know me too much. Y'all know me well. I'm gonna tell you about it.
Well, especially too because it's happened over the past couple of weeks where some dumb bitches from other places have come up in here and pretend that we're all cool or whatever, knowing that they said some shit on social media. Bitch, like if I don't see it, people screenshot it to me and I pulled up to their table like, hey, how you doing? You want to have a conversation? One dude the other day got up and I was like, hey, I want to talk to you. He's like, no, I'm good. I was just going to go. I'm like, all right, boo.
Yeah, that's, You'll have that conversation online, but you won't have it in person.
Yeah, because you're a little bitch.
Or in your friend group or in your little private group or where you don't nobody else don't hear it.
I will roll up to a group of friends by myself. I won't tell my friends to stay there. I got this. And I'll walk over to you and your group of friends and be like, what's good, sis? Do you want to talk? Remember that shit you said?
Yeah.
Usually they'll get embarrassed or they'll shy away or they'll try to backtrack or like rarely will they be like, okay, we can talk.
Yeah.
The in-person's hard. Sure.
I don't think it's hard. I think.
Well, I mean, for those individuals who are like been hiding behind.
I think because you're a little bitch, your fucking mama didn't teach you manners.
Exactly.
Well, guess what, girl? I'm here. I pulled up. I'm gonna teach you some manners real quick. If you want to talk with hands, we can talk with hands. I mean, I'm not trying to go straight there, but if you want to talk with hands, I can talk with hands.
I love it, Ace. But this is the age of receipts. Like everybody got receipts, screenshots, emails, whatever. We have receipts, honey, and we'll provide them for any shit you're trying to say you didn't say or didn't do. We have.
Open door number 1. We got guest 1. Come up here.
Come on in. No Vanna White.
Can we play some of these home movies of you saying this? Everything is recorded. Everything is recorded.
Yes, everything. This is the age. of that.
I just think it's bold when people try to come up into Woody's and they like have said some shit or done some shit on social media and then don't expect me to approach them. And then when I do, they get like all like scared, and I'm just like, you have balls enough to walk into my house and like pretend that we're good. No, sis.
Yes. It's
This ain't church. Jesus don't live here. He don't forgive you for your sins here.
exactly.
It's me, girl.
So people gotta forgive you, not me. I don't. That's
Yeah.
not my.
I ain't her. I ain't Jesus.
I'm not them.
So have you faced any pushback with launching of Black Pockets LLC from your community or just individuals in general, I guess?
Yes, I would say that the people, it's always the ones that's closest to you, right? The people you would expect to root for you and have nice things to say and even support you. There have been some couple of individuals who felt some kind of way because somehow they thought that while working in the nonprofit industrial complex, I'd be able to center and uplift Black folks. Absolutely not. So they assumed that these were almost like hand in hand as far as organizations with the anti-violence organization that I also work for. Not the case. So, but these are also people that were doing their own shady shit. So that probably was internalized and and then projecting their own bullshit at the same time. So I hear everything they had to say with a grain of salt, just because I know that they probably felt some kind of way about the shit that they didn't think I knew about. And because I called them on it, suddenly Black Pockets was brought up and it was some bullshit. But majority of everyone else outside of that little tiff have been very supportive and very, 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 very helpful, even providing me with information from website and for help to this is who you talk to, this is how you create this is what you should do, just because you have so many ideas. And so that's been extremely helpful because it helps me like construct it better and help build the craft in a way that I didn't even think was possible. So even with that small little, I don't even know what to call it,
Criticism.
criticism, hater, you know how that what have you. It's been well more love than anything, and we know love trumps hate always. So
Yeah.
it actually told me I was doing something right because these people was closest to me with that to say like, oh, I must be doing something right because
Very that.
because you foul as hell, and so you feeling some kind of way about yourself, and that's cute. So that means I must be doing it right.
Yeah, it means they're taking notice of the impact you're having, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While they do
I
not
thought that way as well.
no impact, not even at their own house, but.
Well, CiCi, I want to thank you for joining us today and sharing with the community about what Black Pockets LLC is doing, and then talking with us about things going on in our culture and society. Definitely look forward to having you back in person and talking more about your book. I think that's so exciting when people are able to write and share their story. I think that's so powerful. So I definitely want to have a conversation with you more about your book once you're ready to launch it and everything as well. So you have, go ahead. Do you have any last words for everybody out there?
Just everybody continue digging deep. I know it's very uncomfortable, but comfort and growth cannot coexist. It's very uncomfortable, but continue digging deep in all the things that normally scare you about yourself because you will find out wonderful, beautiful things that you can then use to help elevate your life. Period.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Digging deep. You gotta till the ground to grow some good growth. So
yes, period. And them roots go real deep, so you got to pull them out, honey. Get on them knees and pull them roots out.
All the weeds gotta go.
I literally like wrote that last night when I was like thinking of stuff like just in my head, like whatever, and I wrote like even in love there is fear. You can't have one without the other. You need to write a list of everything you've always wanted to do, but you're too afraid to do, and then just do them.
Yes.
Yes, period. Because you only person stopping yourself. We would literally be like astonished with the things you're possible like that you could do if you just simply did them.
Powerful.
I love it. So Black Lives LLC or Black Pockets LLC on Facebook and Black Pockets LLC at gmail.com. Correct?
PocketsLLC.com for the website. Best place to check it out. Zeke's Freedom Foundation is on there. You also can donate on there. And of course, your donations are always welcome. You also can help supply some freedom kits that we make right there on blackpockets.com /Zeke meet Zeke.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to come back to the city. You and Miss, please drive safely on your trip back.
Oh
And
yeah.
we'll talk about we'll talk on Saturday at my birthday party here at Woody's about when you will come back on the show live.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Do you have any last words?
I really wanted to really quick touch and talk about KCDC real quick and how they shut down the website for the voting that's supposed to be happening this weekend. But people can still go to friendsofkc.org to register to vote for.
Yeah. So the lawyer that Danielle, Jesse, and Stuart have hired did a copyright infringement where there is no copyright on the logos for KCDC or KC Pride Fest, because that's the complaint we had as board members for years, that we wanted to make sure that it was copyrighted so nobody else could take them. So I know that that hasn't been done yet. But they were able to submit a copyright infringement on the pages, and the pages have been taken down
On social media.
On social media at this time. But that does not impact anyone who is registered to vote, ability to vote. You can still do that. The website, friendsofkcdc.org, is where you can watch the live stream of the annual meeting on Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. I doubt it'll be 2 hours long, but we just did that just in case.
Everyone in the community is invited to watch.
Yeah, and it'll we can push the stream out on Unboxed as well, and
I'm pretty sure Woody's Casey will also.
Yeah, so I mean, there'll still be multiple platforms where you'll be able to watch the video, but the most important is that the community's voice is still being heard. They're not being silenced. We have over 100 individuals who have signed up to register to vote, so that is the largest and the first time in 8 years. The organization has had a membership role and had an opportunity to engage and empower the community to exercise their right to decide who the leadership of the organization is. I think that's really important that that message is out there, and that those individuals, Danielle, Jesse, and Stuart, realize that they can't maintain their chokehold and death grip on KCDC or KC Pride Fest anymore. They still list themselves as a leadership and are planning on maintaining their leadership. So it's really important that the community knows that they have to be held accountable for their lack of transparency. And the work needed to be done is just starting. Like this is an uphill battle. We have not gotten to the top of the hill yet. So we still got a ways to go.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, friendsofkc.org, go to register and vote.
Friendsofkcdc.org.
Friendsofkcdc.org, go register to vote. Voting takes place from.
Voting is Friday at 6 a.m. to Saturday at 3 p.m. And so we won't be able to see the results. We're using a ballot software, so a platform to vote on. So we won't even be able to see what the election results are until 3 p.m. So I think that's really cool that it maintains that, not secrecy, but that confidentiality of your vote. And the individuals who are registered to vote are the only ones who can vote. So it's really important that if you haven't registered to vote, that you go to friendsofkcdc.org and sign up and register to vote. That's being turned off today. So you need to make sure that you get your voice heard and you register so that you can decide the leadership of this organization.
So you need to register to vote today.
Today, yeah. So that goes out because Thursday they all get uploaded into the platform server, and then that message goes out Friday morning for everyone to vote.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. That's so wild.
Yeah, and I mean, we've never in the history of the organization have they ever had all positions filled on the board, and definitely never have had community members sign up to, like multiple communities sign up for positions to be on the board. We have 17 or 18 individuals who signed up, so that's pretty impressive. Every single board position is filled. And there's multiple candidates for the majority of the positions. So that's powerful from the community saying that I don't want this organization to die. I don't want pride to disappear. I want, to have a say in what happens and to maintain some accountability and transparency going forward. So we're definitely in support of the community for that.
Which is all we've been asking for, is transparency.
Yeah.
Collective. Let's get it.
What's that?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the collective work I was talking about. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It takes a community to make it happen, and I think everybody working together to move this forward is why this momentum is happening. It's, you know, if not, they have no intention of turning over that information. Right now, you know, Jesse is harassing individuals who signed up to be candidates, you know, to be the leadership of this organization. And I reached out to him yesterday. It was like, stop harassing people who signed up. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, that's totally not how you're supposed to do an election. It's definitely not how an individual in a leadership position should be engaging with
Wait,
people.
Jesse Bolt from CaseNet, the one who's harassing people, the one that
has like criminal charges and financial fraud. Yeah.
the one that also has had people like get restraining orders against him because he was harassing them in real life. Oh, that Jesse
That
Bolt.
Jesse is
Oh,
also
that
doing
makes
that.
more sense. So yeah, if you guys want to go to CaseNet,
I think that speaks to something that's really important about these individuals is that, you know, we've talked about growth and change and how people change over time and how you take in new information and you come out better and stronger from that. And you have these individuals who sat at the July 8th meeting with the community, didn't like what they were hearing. Danielle got up and left, advocated his position at that moment, and continues that. But when you look at their criminal history and the financial fraud that they've had in the past, and criminal charges related to that,
and not so recent past.
and not so, yeah, and some of them are as recent as of last year that they were guilty of the criminal charges for fraudulent activity, especially financials, and
Which is all available on Google.
yeah, you can access all that CaseNet. You know, you can see all the charges that they have. But when you think of that, and you think of those individuals are the ones who have access to the hundreds of thousands of dollars that's made off the back of the queer community, and they don't tell you how it's being spent. They don't tell you where your money is going. They don't show you who decided they should be the leadership. All those things that come into play, knowing their criminal history, you're like, why are they so, stonewalling us on this access to information? Why are they fighting so much against being transparent? What have they done? Like, it leads you to, you know, really start to question what's going on here, and why is there an inability to be honest and to be transparent with the community that has given you money and entrusted you to act and represent them. So
They're criminals.
Yeah.
You have criminals running an organization that definitely should not be in a leadership position and have access to those funds.
Agreed.
I think it's just like so rich that Jesse Pultz is literally going and harassing like people that are trying to volunteer and work for an organization that, you know, he works, quote unquote, works with to help the community. I think it's just really rich. And then everything that like I've said in call out culture, you know, and a little bit of, I just think like accountability culture. Because I'm more than willing to have a conversation, has removed his tags, has not once come and said anything to me, has not once said anything to any of like any other leadership in this community that has reached out to him.
Yeah, my advice to the individuals that reached out yesterday who were like, this person won't stop texting me or messaging me on
Tell him to fuck
Facebook.
off and tell him to call me.
I said, you know, the easiest thing to do is to ask him, where are the paper trail of how many tickets were sold at the gate, how many tickets were bought online, how many liquor tickets were sold, how many carnival tickets were sold. I mean, that's three basic questions that are just, you know, scraping off the tip of the iceberg of what has been going on with this organization. And guess what happens? I was like, he'll instantly stop responding. And he did. Like, once you ask for that information, they shut up because they don't want to provide that. And I doubt they can provide that. Like, that's part of, you know, the problem is that there is no paperwork. Otherwise, I mean, it would clear their name, right? It would clear all this up if you were to provide that information. And this is going on a full month now, a little after now.
Longer.
Yeah, and we still have no access to any of that. No questions, just silence when you ask that. That's a huge red flag. Big red flag. There's tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars that it adds up to that just leave you wondering where it's that money at.
Yeah.
If there is that money.
Well, I would encourage everybody to go to mocasenet.com.
I think .gov,
.gov.com. I don't know. Look up Danielle Gregory. Also look up Jesse Bolt. Also, for this weekend, please go to friendsofkcdc.org and register to vote today to elect your new KCDC
leadership.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And then we'll stream live Saturday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. on the website friendsofkcdc.org.
Yeah. Also, don't forget to go to Black Pockets LLC.
Yes.
They're amazing. They're great. Also, don't forget to come to XOXO this Friday night with Jordan Silver here at Woody's, and then Saturday night, my birthday party with DJ Chad Slater and DJ Sir Queen. It's going to be dual DJs, so much fun, lots of people, lots of party. Also, I'm accepting lots of gifts this week because it's my birthday, and I love you all.
You have an Amazon wish list.
I don't prefer to tell people what to give me. I like to see what people like try to give me, like, or want to give me, because like it tells me. I think it tells me about like our friendship. What you give me tells me like this is what you think or thought, or like what I would like. Which number one I always appreciate because it's very thoughtful. It's the thoughtfulness.
That is true.
I really like that. Yeah. I don't have anything else to add other than don't forget you can order an at-home HIV test kit from Casey Care through the Him Project site. You can do Him Project on Facebook. You can go to the himproject.org website and access an at-home HIV test kit for free. So I think it's really important that people know that you don't have to go to a clinic. You don't have to risk exposing yourself to COVID or putting yourself in a situation where you don't feel comfortable or you're worried about stigmas or bias. If you go into a clinic or a place where they do STI testing, you can do it at home for free, and somebody will talk you through that whole process. And there's no blood involved at all. So that's great.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to add. Since we had a couple of people that were here maybe last week or the week before drag queens come through, all the Woody staff that was working, that currently is working now, has been tested. They are all negative for COVID. If anybody is looking for a space to go get free testing for COVID, go to Casey Care Clinic between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. They're only accepting 25 people per day, so make sure you get there early. Sign in, super easy. Also, if you're looking for a no contact, go to cbs.com. Any CBS, put in your location. You can schedule an appointment either that day or the next day. It's totally drive-through. There's no contact. They give you everything. They walk you through the test, and you just deposit it. And you should have your results between 48 hours and 5 days. So definitely, if you're in any kind of situation where you think that you might have been in contact or been exposed, please, just to be on the safe side, everybody go get tested for COVID.
Yes.
Cool. CiCi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye. Thank you, guys.